Okay, so for number one, your experiment output as well as a quicker run through on what you did in this experiment. So we first had a quick recap on solving for transfer functions, and then we were introduced to the topic of open loop zeros. So basically, this would be defined as the values of s such that the open loop function would be equal to 0. And we were also introduced to graphing pole zero plots. And then comes the main topic of stability. So this has two conditions wherein if all the poles are situated at the left part of the plane, then that would deem the system stable. However, if at least a pole was situated at the right side of the plane, then that would deem the system unstable. And with that, we're also given 4 open loop systems that we had to solve for their poles and their zeros, as well as plot their impulse response as well as their pole zero plot, so that we could determine whether these systems would be considered stable or unstable. So with that, number 2, discussion of the challenges and performing this experiment or understanding the concepts. So for me, I feel like it's really more heavily into understanding the concepts, because even when we already have a plot with the poles and zeros, it's still sometimes difficult to make a finalized decision as to whether or not this system would be stable or unstable. So I guess to improve myself, I should also take into consideration like expanding my knowledge, not just solely on relying or depending on the plots I create for MATLAB, but also on understanding the theoretical concept behind it as to how this plot or this circle came to be. So of course the plot consists of a circle, the pole, and the zero, and it's important to understand how we obtained this kind of plot and not solely rely on MATLAB. So it's important to understand the theoretical concept, the actual theoretical concept behind it. So notes to myself would once again be it's really important to not solely depend on the plot provided by MATLAB to determine whether it's stable or unstable, but also to really strengthen or amplify your understanding on the theoretical concept behind it, on how we theoretically understand if a system is stable or unstable. So that would be all.